With this session update, I'm Shannon Lurkey. Republican and DFL lawmakers from the House and the Senate called a press conference to advocate for measures to close loopholes and further strengthen sexual assault statutes. Here are some highlights.
We really appreciate the opportunity to talk about our bipartisan bill today, House File 707, Senate File 1683. This bill is the culmination of the hard work of the legislatively created working group to examine Minnesota's sexual assault statutes.
Survivors who choose to engage with the criminal justice system deserve a system that does not perpetuate additional harm. I'm sure you've all heard about the recent Minnesota Supreme Court case. While that legal opinion was probably a surprise to much of the public, it highlighted an issue that survivors and advocates have been working on for years. A bit of history. During the 2019 legislative session, there were multiple bills authored to address the issue of voluntary intoxication, but no consensus on what language would be most effective. With bipartisan support, including the late Senator Jerry Ralph, the Minnesota Coalition Against Sexual Assault asked the legislature to create a multidisciplinary work group to evaluate Minnesota's criminal sexual conduct statutes and to make recommendations for legislative action. This legislative work group was made up of nearly 80 members from across the state and specifically included the voices of survivors and marginalized communities. The roster of members is available on the Minnesota Office of Justice Program website. But what I can tell you is that this work included survivors, advocates, prosecutors, public defenders, law enforcement, and other experts from across the state. This was an expansive, disparate group, and the recommendations put forth are only those that garnered broad agreement. Workgroup members met for nearly 2 years. The results were submitted to the legislature in January 2021. That report, also available on the Minnesota Office of Justice Programs website, contains specific recommendations for legislative change.
My journey with this particular bill and the provisions of this bill really started in 2019. And many of you have reported on this in the media, and it has to do with Hannah Troseth. So Hannah Troseth was just 13 years old when two 20-somethings decided to take advantage of her. She was raped, held against her will. She was given marijuana and alcohol and many other things. And even after much evidence was gathered and her case was reviewed 4 times here in Ramsey County, there was a decision to not move the case forward for prosecution. So I became very frustrated and took a deep dive into that particular case and discovered some tremendous flaws in the criminal statutes for sexual assault. And out of that birthed a bill that I called Hannah's Law. And that had some very sweeping changes, almost too much, too fast, because I didn't want to wait anymore. I wanted her to get justice and all the Hannahs out there to get justice. And so what we did is we kind of took a pause, and Representative Mueller and I put together an idea for this legislatively formed statutory working group. And they were tasked with looking at the entire chapter of criminal sexual conduct. And they did, and they reached into other areas of law as well. I attended almost all of the working group meetings. There were 5 subcommittees. Let me just tell you just quickly, just some of the most profound changes I think that will really help in children in particular. So we raised the age limit from under 13 to under 14 to protect even more children from statutory rape. Well, we kept the age of consent consistent at 16. The mistake of age defense, where it stands at 10 years right now. So a person could be 10 years older and say that they mistook that person's age. We shrunk that down to 5 years, which seemed more reasonable to us. The other thing that was really important is we made consistent the age older, so 36 months older, where it had ranged from 24 months older to 48 months older. And so that made it a lot easier first to explain to a teenager how many months older and also to administrate justice. So with that, I had a long conversation with Chair Limmer on the phone last night, over an hour. And he is absolutely committed to working on this bill, to give it committee time and committee process.
I'm very pleased to have played a role in facilitating this comprehensive stakeholder working group legislator victim advocate agreement. In fact, it is so well supported that it is the #1 priority of the bicameral bipartisan caucus that met Monday morning to identify priority legislation for the end of the legislative session. We believe that now is the time and opportunity to address these issues. Among those issues are, of course, the Supreme Court decision that needs to be remedied, and I believe appropriately within the legislative purview for that to happen. And also the predatory offender registration, which we working group couldn't reach a final conclusion on, but which set up a proposal for an ongoing working group to work on that particular issue. That's critical since the changes to those laws will result in more beds in the state prisons, which means more registrants in the system as well. There's never been a better time for this predatory offender reform review because it's costing taxpayers $1 million a year, and the benefits of the predatory offender registration system are completely unknown, as it has never been studied for efficacy. It's simply been added to over the past 30 years. The hard and painstaking work of putting together a package of protections, well-balanced and carefully crafted and years in the making, has now been completed. The final step is Senate committee legislative action. We have the committee time and the wherewithal tonight and tomorrow, and it's important to take these important and significant steps to protect current and future sexual violence victims.
To continue following these issues and more, watch legislative coverage Monday through Friday on the PBS Minnesota channel or visit our website, www.senate.mn/media.